Welcome to the Explainer. So, have you ever noticed how sometimes the person who knows the least about something is also the most confident? It's this weird paradox we see all the time, but it turns out there's a real psychological reason for it. And honestly, once you understand it, it kind of changes how you see everything.
Okay, let's just dive right in. I mean, we've all seen this, right? You're watching a talent show and the contestant is just belting out a song, totally off key, but with the swagger of a rock star. Or, you're at a party and someone who read one article online is suddenly the world's foremost expert on, quantum physics. You just got to ask yourself, what is happening there?
Well, it turns out that bizarre gap between someone's confidence and their actual skill isn't just a random personality thing. Nope, it's a very predictable cognitive bias, and it has a name, the Dunning-Kruger Effect, identified by a couple of psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, way back in 1999.
And this is really the heart of it, the core paradox. To know you're doing something badly, you actually need to have a decent amount of skill in that thing to begin with. But if you're a total beginner, you just don't have that skill yet. It's a perfect, almost frustrating catch-22 of learning. So to really get why this happens, we've got to look at what the researchers call the double burden of incompetence. And it's not just about, messing up. It goes way deeper than that.
Okay, think of it like this. Part 1, you build a really wobbly chair. That's the failure, right? It's obvious. But part 2, the hidden failure, is that you don't have enough carpentry skill to even see why it's wobbly. You can't spot the weak joints or the uneven legs, so you're not just failing at the task, you're failing to even recognize that you're failing.
This just nails it, doesn't it? If you don't know the rules of grammar, you literally can't see your own mistakes. From your point of view, every sentence you write looks perfectly fine. And that's why this whole effect isn't really about arrogance. It's about a blind spot that's created by a simple lack of knowledge.
And this thing shows up everywhere. It's not just about one skill. It's the same pattern again and again. You have the singer who can't hear they're off key, the debater who thinks being the loudest means they won, or the new developer who thinks they can build a huge app in just one weekend. It's the exact same blind spot, just wearing a different hat each time.
Now, the good news is this isn't a permanent state of being, not at all. It's actually just the very first step in a pretty predictable journey of learning, a journey that tracks our confidence versus our competence over time. And this journey, it pretty much always unfolds in these 4 stages. And let me tell you, it's an emotional roller coaster. You get these incredible highs, these really humbling lows, but it's the path that everyone has to take to get to real expertise.
Oh man, we've all been on Mount Stupid. You know that feeling, right? You learn a few chords on a guitar, you bake one decent loaf of bread, and suddenly you feel like a total rock star. But then comes the Valley of Despair. That's that humbling moment where you suddenly see just how much you don't know. And honestly, pushing through that valley, that's what separates the people who dabble from the people who become masters.
But here's the twist. The effect isn't only about beginners. In a really fascinating flip, it also explains a strange habit that highly skilled people have. It's a totally different kind of blind spot.
So on one end, you've got beginners who think they're pretty much experts. But on the complete opposite end, you have the real experts, and they make a different kind of mistake. Because the skill has become so easy for them, so second nature, they just assume it must be easy for everyone else too. They totally forget the years of practice it took, and in a way, they actually underestimate their own expertise.
And this is a really, really important point to make. The Dunning-Kruger effect is not a measure of someone's general intelligence. It has nothing to do with IQ. It is completely specific to one area of knowledge. You can have a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who is standing right on top of Mount Stupid when it comes to, say, car mechanics or economics. We are all beginners at something. Okay, so knowing all this, how do we actually use it? How can we avoid these mental traps ourselves and just get better at learning things while keeping our feet on the ground? Well, the really good news is you can totally fight this bias. It just starts with being aware of it. So first, go find honest feedback. Ask people you trust to tell you the truth because they're going to be the mirror that shows you the flaws you can't see yourself. Second, just keep learning. The more you learn, the more you realize how huge a topic is, and that naturally keeps your confidence in check. And finally, always question yourself. Keep asking, okay, what am I missing here? That builds a habit of intellectual humility. These aren't just tips. These are the tools you need to climb out of that valley of despair and get on the path to real skill. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What is your Mount Stupid right now? Come on, be honest. Is there an area in your life where your confidence might be a little ahead of your actual skill? Find it
and then go find someone who can give you that brutally honest feedback you need to start the real journey of getting better.